Naomi Osaka just pulled off one of the wildest turnarounds in this year's clay season, coming back from the brink not once but twice in back-to-back matches in Rome. She went from nearly booking a flight home to steamrolling her way into the round of 16. So how did the hard court queen suddenly become a clay court beast?
Osaka was injured much more frequently than the average women's tennis player, which was 23 injuries per 1,000 sets. So when she made an announcement recently that she would be withdrawing from the Italian Open due to injury,
Naomi Osaka is back, and not just back, but on fire. And here's the part that's making jaws drop. She's doing it on clay. Yes, clay. The one surface that always seemed to mess with her rhythm and patience. For most of her career, Osaka and clay courts weren't exactly best friends. She's a power hitter, fast-paced, loves hard courts where her serve and ground strokes can do the talking. But all of a sudden, she's winning on red dirt like it's no big deal. And not just squeaking by, she's dominating. It all started in St. Malo, a smaller WTA 125 event that wasn't really on anyone's radar. Osaka showed up, played confidently, and walked away with the title. That win was her first ever on clay, and it wasn't a fluke. Since then, she's gone on a 7-match winning streak, handling everything the clay has thrown at her. She's sliding better, constructing points with more patience, and adding more spin and variety to her shots. This isn't just survival. She's thriving. Naomi Osaka was set to face a big-name opponent in the second round of the Italian Open, Paula Badosa, the 9th seed, and someone Osaka had been mentally and tactically preparing to face. She had her game plan ready, her mindset tuned to match Badosa's hard-hitting, aggressive baseline style. But everything flipped just 30 minutes before the match. Badosa pulled out with a back injury, something Osaka had heard whispers about, but didn't fully expect. Instead of a walkover, which she assumed was the rule, she suddenly had a new opponent. Viktoria Golubic, a lucky loser with a completely different game.
tennis players are famous for frequently being injured. All of the big names at one time or another have had periods where they weren't able to play professionally. It's because tennis is a sport.
Golubic plays old-school tennis. Slices, drop shots, one-handed backhands, mixing spins like it's a 90s highlight reel. Her finesse-heavy game is all about throwing off rhythm, and it worked. Osaka looked confused for nearly 2 full sets. The timing was off, her power wasn't landing clean, and Golubic was dragging her into uncomfortable territory. Things got worse when Golubic went up a break in the second set, and even served for the match at 5-4. At that point, it really looked done. Osaka was missing, pressing, and visibly frustrated. But something shifted. She steadied herself, tightened her focus, and played the next few games like her entire comeback depended on them. She broke back, stayed in the set, and started hitting winners again. From that moment, she turned into a different player. It wasn't just about surviving. She was taking control. And what could have been a shocking early exit turned into a stunning win. Chaos or not, she found her rhythm in the storm. The real turning point in that chaotic Rome match came when Naomi Osaka was down 5-4 in the second set, and Golubic was serving for the win. Osaka could have folded. Most players would have. She was struggling to find her rhythm, the crowd was restless, and her opponent had all the momentum. But something clicked. In that moment, she stopped panicking and started thinking clearly. She dug in, returned with more control, and forced Golubic to play deeper rallies. Suddenly, it wasn't Golubic dictating anymore. It was Osaka who took charge of the court. She broke back with a series of fearless winners that left everyone holding their breath. And from there, she never looked back. Osaka didn't just win the next game. She went on to win 8 straight. It was as if someone flipped a switch, and she became locked in like never before. Her shots were cleaner, her movement sharper, and her decisions smarter. She adjusted her pace, added more spin, and neutralized Golubic's tricky slices like they were nothing. She wasn't just reacting anymore. She was setting the tempo. After the match, Osaka said something that perfectly captured what happened. "I wanted her to prove to me why she should win." That mindset was everything. It wasn't about panic or desperation. It was about control and belief. She refused to hand the match over and made Golubic earn every point. That shift wasn't physical, it was mental. It showed a level of maturity and clarity that doesn't come from talent alone. It was a pure mental masterclass under pressure. In the middle of that tense match against Golubic, when things were slipping fast and her confidence was hanging by a thread, Naomi Osaka's mind wandered to a familiar place. Her daughter, Shay. It wasn't the first time. Back in St. Malo, during another tough match where she was trailing, her thoughts drifted in the same direction. In both moments, with pressure building and outcomes uncertain, she thought of her baby girl. It's wild how the mind works under stress. For Osaka, it didn't push her away from the match. It brought her back into it with more strength. She even admitted that she nearly checked out mentally. At one point, she started thinking about flights. If she could grab a midnight one, she might make it home in time to get a few days with Shay before Roland Garros. That kind of thinking, when you're in the middle of a major match, just shows how overwhelming things can get. But instead of giving in to that escape plan, she flipped the script. She used the thought of her daughter not as a reason to leave, but as motivation to stay. Motherhood hasn't just changed her life, it's changed how she plays. There's a new purpose behind every point, a different kind of grit. She's not only fighting for herself anymore. It's a bigger picture. It's about showing strength when you feel weak, staying focused when your heart is pulled elsewhere, and refusing to give up even when your instincts beg for rest. In that moment, mom mode wasn't just real, it was her superpower. Just when everyone thought Naomi Osaka had already pulled off her big comeback moment in Rome, she did it again, this time against Marie Bouzkova in the third round. It was another rough start. Bouzkova came in ready, sharp from the baseline, and took the first set 6-4. Osaka had her chances early, especially with a couple of break points, but couldn't convert. Bouzkova stayed solid, grabbed the only break of the set, and kept her lead. For a minute, it looked like Osaka might run out of gas after that emotional roller coaster in the previous round. But then came the shift. Osaka didn't panic. She stayed calm, collected herself, and came out in the second set with a clear plan. She pushed harder, took control of the rallies, and went up 3-0 before Bouzkova could even blink. This version of Osaka was fast, focused, and aggressive, hitting cleaner, moving better, and not allowing Bouzkova to settle into her defensive rhythm. She took the second set 6-3 and didn't ease up in the third. Even when Bouzkova tried to claw her way back, Osaka stayed strong, finishing the match with another 6-3 set and booking her spot in the round of 16. That's 8 straight wins on clay. Not luck, not coincidence. That's a serious run. And she's doing it after a year off the tour. Next, she's up against Peyton Stearns, the same player who knocked out Madison Keys, the reigning Australian Open champ. It's a big challenge, but with Osaka playing like this, it's hard not to believe she's truly back. People used to say clay was Naomi Osaka's kryptonite, that it didn't suit her power game, that her footwork wasn't built for the slide and grind style you need to win on red dirt. But suddenly, the narrative is flipped, and fans are loving it. They've even started calling her Clayomi, which started off as a joke, but is starting to feel pretty real. 8 straight wins, a title in St. Malo, back-to-back comebacks in Rome. She's not just surviving the clay season, she's owning it. And here's the part that makes it even crazier. Osaka hasn't won a WTA 1000 title since 2019. That's a long drought for someone who was once the most dominant force on tour. Injuries, mental health breaks, and becoming a mother all kept her off the court for a while. But through all that, she's come back stronger and smarter. She's managing matches better, adapting her game, and finding ways to win that don't rely solely on speed and power. That's the scary part for her opponents. She's evolving right in front of us. With the French Open right around the corner, Osaka suddenly looks like more than just a wild card. She looks like a real threat. A deep run in Paris isn't some far-fetched dream anymore. It's possible, maybe even likely. From hard-court queen to unexpected clay warrior, this version of Naomi might be the most dangerous one yet. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.